and I bet you weren't expecting this tonight, boys and girls. Welcome everyone to an NHL trade deadline day version on Isles Talk. My name is Paul Kreischer. I'm your host this evening, and joining me, as always, Joe Panettiere and Gary Harding. How are you, gentlemen?
Good.
Boy.
How's everything?
Ah, busy. Busy, and honestly, folks, let's just get right into this. It's NHL trade deadline day. Even though it's supposed to be Friday, they gave us a big bone on this one, and we've got a lot of trades to talk about if we wanted to. Um, you know what? Forget it. Let's just have some fun with this. Jump right into it. Um, Finally, and I mean finally, get rid of this for a moment here. Noah Hannafin finally traded from Calgary to Vegas. Um, we're going to get all the details later, but my God, I am so glad Hannafin is traded, done and over with. I don't want to hear or talk to Randy for another month until the season is over. Like, I'm tired of the Hannafin stupid rumors. It's finally done and over with. And again, we're going to include this one as well. With Vegas, Anthony Mantha going from Washington to Vegas, and Washington receives a 2024 second round pick and a 2026 fourth round pick. Gentlemen, let's talk about Vegas real quick. That's loading up. You're getting yourself a goal scorer who's hot, and you're getting yourself probably a top 4 D man with plenty of cap space still to make some room. Give me your thoughts on Joe real quick on Vegas.
Typical Vegas. Go big or go home. They're going for it. They're buying in, and I don't think they're done. I still think they're one of the teams involved with Gensel. And they're all in. I mean, look at it. I mean, isn't that what you want? You go out and get the players to make your team that much stronger.
Absolutely.
They're doing it the right way. They're going for it.
Yeah, they certainly are. You're just looking, there's room to improve. I can see them making one or two. I think the big dealing is done, but it's just a little bit of taste on your fourth line and your third D pair, and maybe like I said, they're gunning for bear.
Absolutely. So listen, you've got one side. Let's talk about the other. The Edmonton Oilers were sneaky good with this trade, gentlemen. Edmonton receives Adam Henrique, Sam Carrick, Ty Taylor, 2024 seventh round pick. Anaheim receives a 2024 first round pick, a conditional 25 fifth round pick, and Tampa. Thank you, Tampa, for collecting some of that cap. You're looking at a conditional 2025 fifth round pick. Listen, Joe, sneaky good. Sneaky good by Edmonton, man.
Out of all the trades, I love this one the most. And going both ways. Going both ways. But
right.
Edmonton just picked up 2 good players. They're both centermen, and they can both play the wing. They're both penalty killers, and they can both play on the power play. So that's an unbelievable move by the GM. And hey, listen, it improves them immensely because now they have playoff toughness, and that's another thing that they needed.
They severely lack.
So they got a little grit now. They got players that could play with a little moxie. So.
And Enrique, in his early part of his career, had a lot of Stanley Cup playoff experience, and you can't take that away, despite where he's been the last few years. He knows what it's been like to win those big rounds. And that can help. You don't think Connor McDavid ever needs help on something, but believe me, as we said years ago, Mario Lemieux could never make it in the playoffs until somebody named Trottier played on his team and taught him how to win.
Right.
So that could be a real big help for guys like Draisaitl and McDavid and those guys in Edmonton. I think it's a steal. It's a great move on their part.
This could be Edmonton's Butch Goring trade.
No question about it.
Because now you have a guy like Henrique that comes in and say, hey, guys, you don't know how good you are. But this is the way we're going to do things. And I think Henrique, when he was with the Devils, had 3 or 4 game-winning series goals or something like that.
A few. Yeah, I know you had at least 2 I know of. But
yeah, I know he
right.
he had one against the Panthers and I think one against the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one more, I think. Maybe the Fly. I don't remember. But
yeah, but again,
too hard.
It's the experience.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
So I sneaky good move for both those teams, but gentlemen, we can't leave this other Western Conference team out. Bowen Byram going to the Buffalo Sabres for Casey Middlestat. Colorado got my one player that I was hoping for a few weeks ago. I mean, I wasn't really necessarily hoping, but it was like, what are they going to do with Casey Middlestat? And would he come to the Isles? Would Buffalo trade him to the Isles? But again, he was just standing out, and obviously Colorado was seeing something as well. Colorado now has their second line center. As far as I'm concerned, Buffalo has a solid top 4 defense that's going to be the envy of that Atlantic Division very, very soon.
Yep.
And in all honesty, that's going to be a wake-up call. Buffalo's like, look, guys, we're down this year. Watch out for us next year, because that top 4, Bowen Byram is a top pairing defenseman on any other team, and he's going to Buffalo. Oh my God. But let's stick with Colorado real quick. Casey Middlestat, Gary, how much of a fit is he going to be? Especially if Nichushkin and Landeskog come back. Oh my God, how's that going to be, Gary?
I mean, I don't know about. Yeah, I mean, Landeskog is not coming back this season, correct?
I don't think so.
No, I think he's done for the season. But still,
long term.
Oh man, it's like actually, I'm just watching. They just showed a picture of Byram leaving where he was. No, it's right there. We're in Colorado tonight. So he's just leaving the arena on his way to Buffalo. So
okay,
but yeah, I mean that's like Toronto just scored 1-0 on Buffalo. But what was I going to say? Yeah, it's a perfect fit. It's absolutely perfect. I know you were just like grinding your teeth, Paul. You wanted it badly. You really, between him and your other buddy VT.
I'll get into him later.
I know, but no, but it's great. I mean, this Western Conference is going to be, the top 4 are going to be so freaking loaded. It's insane, because you're not even talking about Dallas.
No, we haven't talked about Dallas
yet. Dallas had their deal. Right. Dallas had their deal, and they still might have something more to go. But just think of those 4 teams. I mean, come on. No one's going to touch. If they do, it's going to be a major, major upset if any more of those get knocked out early.
Yep. And listen, Joe, we're going to add on to this one as well. Ryan Johansson going to Philly and a 2025 first-round pick. Sean Walker going to Colorado and a 2026 fifth-round pick. Listen, Sean Walker going to Colorado, that's a big one.
Well, I think that's what started that trade-off. Because when they got Walker, and you look at their defense on Colorado, who are you moving?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that got the ball rolling. And if I might be wrong. Wasn't he put on waivers, Johansson?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Immediately on waivers.
Immediately. Yep.
Immediately.
And yes, and according to Kevin Kurz, I don't have it here with me, but Kevin Kurz already tweeted out that Johansson will report to the Phantoms in the Lehigh Valley if he goes unclaimed. So he's going straight to the American Hockey League. So you got Hershey and Lehigh. The state of Pennsylvania have the 2 most expensive players in the American Hockey League. Go PA. If you're not going to make the playoffs in the NHL, you're going to make the playoffs in the American Hockey League.
That's right.
There you go. PA.
Come and bring the kids.
No matter what level, right?
Bring the kids. Have a good time.
Yeah. We'll charge you $70 a ticket to watch these guys play.
But I agree. I agree with Gary. The West, these teams are going to If
Uh,
you
Yeah,
now you don't want to see that first round upset.
if the four
You want
of
to see
those
these
make the
beasts play each
semifinals,
other.
if the four of those make the semifinals, that's going to be unbelievable.
I ain't sleeping.
No,
I ain't going to bed till
No,
late
are you
night.
kidding me?
Oh my
No
God, yeah.
way. No
I
way.
am not sleeping towards that. So, all right, listen. I love you guys in the chat room. For those of you who have been following us for years, yes, Tarasenko has been on our radar for God knows how long. This was not one of those years we were expecting Tarasenko to show up on the team on the Islanders, but Florida does receive Vladimir Tarasenko. Ottawa retains 50% of the contract. Ottawa receives a conditional 2024 fourth round pick and a 2025 third round pick. I'm not upset over this, Joe. I wasn't expecting him here. I was hoping you and I could announce it on air to be the first ones to tick off the rest of the Islander fans because that's what we wanted. Okay. It's not what they wanted. We were all right with it. But listen, though, they got themselves another sniper that could replace their version of Anthony Duclair from last year. Tarasenko has more playoff experience winning that cup with St. Louis. What does that do with Florida right now? That puts them look, they're ready to win excuse me. They are ready to win their second President's Trophy in 3 years. And now they got Vladimir Tarasenko. What are you doing with Florida?
He's a perfect fit for them because he plays that grinding game. He's a big boy. He's not afraid to go to the front of the net and score goals. He could score from the perimeter. He could play any type of game you want to play. You want to skate, he'll skate. You want to hit, he'll hit. And he's going to make himself. From what I understand, he's going to be on the third line. So you're putting a player like Tarasenko on your third line. Your first two lines are pretty
loaded.
Stacked. Yeah,
you're loaded.
You know what I mean? Unless there's a major collapse in net, I can't see anybody beating Florida right now. I really can't.
So, Gary, give me your thoughts. Florida going for it all.
There's no question. I think after winning that President's Trophy 2 years ago, they felt cheated. So Boston just had that a magnificent season last year, and obviously couldn't get through. But yeah, they are the favorites, no question. And there's no part of their game that's lacking at this point. And to build, and again, it seems the good teams are going to get much better, and who knows what's going to happen in the next 43 hours from now. What's going to happen. A lot of the big names are gone, but it doesn't mean this trade deadline's not going to be fun.
Well, it's interesting that Matthew would mention the Rangers. Look, Joe, we know, Henrique, the Rangers wanted Henrique, but we also found out that the Rangers are in on Gensel as well. Carolina, the Rangers, Vegas. Vegas is still in on Gensel.
Yes, Canucks.
The Canucks, right. Lindholm is out there, possibly for Boston.
I think Florida.
The Rangers,
I think Florida is in on him too.
Okay. The Rangers are not, and this is stupid, not stupid, stupid. Okay, an extra S here. The Rangers don't want to trade their first round pick because it's in the sphere at the NHL draft this year, and Dolan has something to do with that. I don't know if he owns it or whatnot.
Yeah, I think he does.
Right. But after watching what Florida's done, the Rangers have to get Gensel. Like, there's no other way. No one else is going to help the Rangers get anywhere past Florida if they want to make a splash. Like, what are you doing if you're the Rangers right now?
Well, if you're the Rangers right now, you're trying to get them. When a team
you got to give up that first.
When a team that you have to beat that gives you fits, you got to get a player that's going to put you at their level or above their level. Now, don't get me wrong. The Rangers cannot play the Panthers style of game for 7 games. If the Rangers can't beat a team like that in 4 or 5 games, they're not beating them. It's as simple as that. They're built for a long playoff run. the Panthers. Um,
Right.
as far as Gensel, he's a rental. And from what Pittsburgh is saying is that they want first-round draft picks
Right.
for him. So, I mean, if you're the Rangers and you're going for it, I say, yeah, you give up that pick and you grab that player. And then, you're showing the fans, hey, we went for it. Look, we lost. What are we going to do? Because he's definitely going to test free agency because someone's going to pay big for him.
Yep.
So that would be the smart move. So
Yep.
I would make that move if I was the Rangers. If you're truly going for it, yeah, you make that move.
Yep. Now, the crazy three-way trade that Matthew is talking about, and I believe it was Kevin Weeks who tweeted it out. I believe Lindholm goes to Boston, DeBrusk goes to Pittsburgh, and then Gensel goes to Vancouver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you hear about that one, Joe?
That's
No.
similar. That's similar, almost similar dollars, really. So it's,
Yes. That's a crazy one.
Repeat that trade. So I was just reading what Matthew wrote because he said no way.
Okay, so it's a crazy 3-team trade that Kevin Weeks actually tweeted out that he has heard. So we have Lindholm going to Boston.
Right.
We have DeBrusk going to Pittsburgh.
Right.
And then we have Gensel going to Vancouver.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
if Vancouver gets Gensel, none of us are going to bed until at least 1 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Here, Eastern,
Oh, yeah.
Eastern time. We're watching that
yeah.
Western Conference.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I watch them anyway.
Yeah.
Granted, but this is
I've always been a Vancouver guy as my number 2. So
right.
I love watching them. So yeah, it's going to be a great experience.
People have to realize one thing with Gensel. He's going as a rental. He's not signing an extension with anybody. So if he is traded to the Rangers, it's only for the playoff run. That's it.
Right.
He's not going to sign an extension with any team. He's definitely going to test free agency.
So, all right. Well, listen, this is a New York Islanders fan-based show here.
Really?
Yeah, to a degree. But listen, we'll talk Islanders right now for a little bit. Listen, boys and girls. First off, I wanted to thank our listeners for asking me to do the stats on the Islanders last week, because what we saw during the show last week was the beginnings of a process from Patrick Waugh. Because when we were going through the numbers, everything was the same from before. The only thing that hadn't happened was a winning streak.
And an empty net goal.
What's that? And an empty net goal, yes. And right now, the Islanders are on a 4-game winning streak. And thank God for that. But the Islanders right now in the standings, they're right in the thick of things. And to be honest with you folks, the next team to be eliminated in the Eastern Conference, believe it or not, are the New Jersey Devils. So here's the scenario for the New Jersey Devils. Any kind of a regulation loss and a Tampa Bay and Philadelphia win at any time at this point, the Devils are out. That's it. The Devils are literally that much left. We were saying it on the show now for months that the longer it takes the Devils to get themselves a goaltender, the worse it's going to get. So, absolutely. And absolutely, Ryan. We saw it. We called this on the show last week. This was, and again, I wanted to thank you guys because that was an experience. We literally, I don't want to say we called it, but we were about to see the winning streak finally coming. So, Joe, with Philadelphia trading Walker now, does Philadelphia still have enough to get themselves into the playoffs? Or are the Islanders going to be too much for them to handle? Because we do play Philly down the road here.
Well,
There's just one game left, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just one.
Well, they do have Torts. He's going to motivate them, and
Gotcha.
they believe in his system. They're playing great hockey under him. Could one player make a difference? Yeah, I think on defense, yeah, I think a player can make a difference, and I think coming down the stretch, I think Philly's going to drop, and I think you're going to see the Islanders. Like we said it last year, they just have to play consistent hockey. They're playing their best hockey of the season right now at the right time. So
Right.
we said they have to go on a 5 or 6 game winning streak to get themselves back in it, and they're doing it. So,
Right.
You have to believe. What am I going to do? I'm going to say no, they're not. Yeah, I want to see them pass Philly. Do I think Philly's going to, shoot their load and drop? Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I think they're going to fall apart.
Okay. And again, we're going to bring Tampa back into this as well because I don't trust Tampa either. They haven't made a trade yet. Who do you think Tampa goes for now that Hannafin's off the market? Do you think Tampa can go after someone like Chychrun, perhaps, Gary? Because if they get themselves another solid defenseman to replace Sergachev, Tampa Bay could be a sneaky, maybe you don't want to play them in the first round type of thing, especially if Vasilevsky.
Yeah, for sure. And again, Chychrun's young. He's got a good contract on him, but with the cap relief, that's a good scenario for him. And that I think would basically reemerge Tampa as a possibility. But again, they'd have to get through Florida, they have to get through Boston. It's not going to be an easy task, and I guess the question to management of them is, are they willing to make this kind of a deal and maybe have a first round exit? That's the big question on their minds.
Right. So,
well, let me ask you a question. What if Florida, instead of say they don't go after Gensel, they go after Chychrun? What about that move to keep Tampa from getting him?
Because the people in South Florida want to stick it.
Freeze up.
Yeah,
no doubt. No doubt. No, we're thinking about that one, Joe. Oh, he might have frozen up. Not sure, but no. Let's answer that question here.
Yeah, I was frozen up for a second.
Yep.
Yeah, his mouth is about 2 seconds behind his voice.
Yeah, that's all right. Chychrun to Florida. Good Lord, like that put Florida in the Western Conference. Like, my God, that's power. Honestly, that's power. That's unreal.
Stupid power. That's stupid power.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So let's keep this Isles for just a little bit longer here. Scotty on LTIR, open things up for us a bit here. That's true. And listen, if you've been on the show, if you've been watching the show before, we do have Joe and I had the Islanders linked to Seattle, Ottawa, San Jose, and Anaheim. Lo and behold, and Ottawa, I think I said Ottawa too, right?
Ottawa. Yeah.
Okay. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, over this weekend, including Friday, they're all in South Carolina, right? They're all in South Cali. They're all in California this coming weekend, except for Seattle. They're up north, where they're home. But Ottawa, the Islanders, Anaheim, San Jose, they're all in California. Could we still see it, a trade? Maybe. Who's it going to be? Who knows? Honestly, we were never really told. But again, demographics wise, those links are still there. They are still valid.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we can still make a trade with Ottawa.
Right. If they make a deal on Friday morning or whatever, you can have them ready for the next day. That's a perfect opportunity.
Right. And Jim, I'm going to go this. Yeah, I think he is West Coast shopping.
Yep.
But he's got Ottawa on the West Coast as well. So, again, who are they going to get? We don't know. Listen, Frank Vatrano is still available. I don't know what Anaheim really wants, but my goodness, Frank Vatrano on a first or second line. Whoa.
You think the Rangers still might want to have a reunion with him?
They might. Joe, we were talking about the Islanders, the Senators in Southern California, and we brought up the idea of Frank Vatrano possibly coming to the Islanders. give me your thoughts on that. West Coast shopping here, real quick.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, they're not far away. Just, get the deal
Right.
done. Let's go, Lou. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. Get it done. Got to make a move. Everybody's getting better.
Now you have to.
All the contenders are loading up. Let's go.
It's great. It's great on the Islanders side that they're playing well, that the system's working, and everybody's attentive to it and doing the right things. But Lou said it, and he said it all along. If something's going to make this team better, he's going to do it. But the good thing that he mentioned is that there's going to be zero subtraction. So if he's going to make a move, it's going to be either for equality or something down the road.
Right. Yeah. And again, to let everyone know, this year's draft is not as strong as to 2025 or 2026. And what I mean by that is the kids that are drafted in 2024 are still going to be good. It's going to take them longer to get into the NHL. It's not that these kids are bad. It's just going to take longer, which is why you're seeing more value out of the 2025 and 2026 picks that are already being traded, because the lower rounds, they're going to have more value. Having said that, okay, Oliver Wahlstrom has more value than a 2024 fifth round pick or a third round pick or even a second round pick. Okay. Lou is not going to trade Oliver Wahlstrom just to trade Oliver Wahlstrom. He's going to get the value out of that. If he trades Oliver Wahlstrom, as of right now, I'm actually glad Lou has stood pat. I think he's waiting for a bigger fish. With Tarasenko, in all honesty, his family lives in Fort Lauderdale. That kind of made it easy for everyone here. But with Lou, if he's going to give up a first rounder, Joe, it's not going to be for a rental. If he's going to give up a first rounder and Oliver Wahlstrom, you're going to get a player back. And it's probably going to be on a, I don't want to say a long-term deal, but he might also be on a contract.
Well, he has to get some term out of him. And if you're gonna make a trade like that, you got to get a player that's going to fill the top line.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. That line has to be complete. Listen. I like Brock Nelson on that line. I don't love him on that line. You understand what I'm saying? I just because now his former line isn't what it was.
Right.
Don't get me wrong; it's working now, but then there's going to be a time where all these teams are going to make adjustments, and all these line changes aren't going to work. Right. They're clicking now, but there's going to be a time they're not going to click.
Right.
So I just think they still have to fill that wing.
Right.
On the top line.
Yeah.
Well, look, there's a popular name out there right now, Buchnevich from St. Louis. He would be an ideal first line with Horvat and Barzell as well. I don't know if the Islanders can pull a trade off like that. Certainly a first rounder, because Buchnevich already has term for next year. Wahlstrom would have to go over, but again, there have to be more in there in order for the cap to fit and everything else. I don't know if there would be salary retention or whatnot. If there's salary retention by St. Louis, that first rounder is guaranteed. But look, you get Buchnevich on the top line, you put Brock Nelson back down to the second line. The Islanders can give that first round opponent one heck of a run.
Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah. I think
I'm surprised the Rangers didn't go after him. Get him back.
I'm a little surprised myself.
Yeah.
All right, the popular one. Let's go with Jim here. Do we mess with chemistry, and where would Duclair play? I would put Duclair on that first line. He's got just enough speed. His shot is still good. I'd put him on the first line. I mean, Barzell and Horvat can basically say, stand there or be in that position. He'll get there and he'll shoot. Yeah. Honestly, Duclair is playing with two centers. Let's be honest. Okay, and Duclair can play either wing, if I'm not mistaken. So if you want to put Matt Barzell on that left wing side, you can do that. Put Duclair on the right wing side. Look out. You can do that. So again, speculation. We don't know what's happening, but again, Southern California shopping is a possibility. Oh, look at this. Buchnevich is the guy. Blue said they will retain money. Okay, wonderful. Works for me. Yeah, and yeah, gentlemen, let's talk about this real quick. Open-ended question here. Chemistry. We're on a 4-game winning streak. This team is winning as a team now, thanks to Patrick Waugh. How much chemistry do we really want to mix here? Is this a good idea? Should we just let the Islanders go with the flow, shall we say? Do we run with what we have? Give me your thoughts, Gary.
Although I love what I'm seeing, and it's been a true pleasure the last couple of games at the
Coliseum.
The stable.
The stable, right? Yeah, at the stable. Although it's been very nice, I think if they really think they're going to compete, they need to improve. You're seeing all these other teams improve. The last couple of years we've been complaining about the fact that he hasn't made a move, and we know that Lou is not going to do it for the sake of a move. But he's, we see it on the wall. We see the handwriting. We know it's there. If they somehow sneak in at game 82, beating the Penguins on April 17th to make it into the playoffs, you just know that even Claire says that we barely make the playoffs. It's not going to be fun anyway. And you don't want it to be just for the sake of getting in. You want to be in and possibly do some damage.
Right.
And I think just a possible piece could do that, and you could see it. There's tons of hope, and you can see that the guys are all into Patrick and into what he's doing, but they've got to improve. If they want to make a run, they've got to do something to make that first and second line stay stable and hot. What it is, we don't know, but right now, if this team wants to make a statement, they've got to do it by Friday.
You definitely have to add depth.
Yes,
and that's what you'll be adding if you add Duclair or Buchnevich. You're adding depth, but you're also completing a line that's not complete.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying, but as far as chemistry, yeah, the chemistry's clicking right now, so you don't have to worry about chemistry. By bringing in a player, you're not screwing with chemistry because you're putting Brock Nelson back where he belongs.
Agreed.
And I can't see him staying on that top line. I really can't.
One of the conversations I had with Andrew Gross when I was having drinks with him in Nashville in January, I said, if they make some kind of a move, the room, talking to the guys and stuff like that, would it mess things up? And he said, no. He says, if you bring that room is so good with those guys. Even before Patrick coming here, the room was so good that, bringing somebody in is not going to be an issue there. But yes, you get stability back to that line number 1 and line number 2. And, right now the third line it's got a chance to do better. And if you get everything improving, yes, you're going to have to watch out for this team, because even though, Soroki hasn't had the season we've all wanted to, what he's capable of, and you get more stability in front of him. Katie barred the door.
Mm-hmm.
Is Wally enough first enough for Duclair? More than enough. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I would give a first rounder and Wallstrom for Duclair. Duclair is still a unrestricted free agent there, Thomas.
Yeah,
maybe a second. Yeah, he would be a rental. I don't know. Honestly, I may just go Wallstrom for Duclair straight up. I don't know if there'd be any salary retention or whatnot, but just in terms of draft picks and, a player, I would probably go a fourth rounder in Wallstrom for Duclair. That would be me. I don't know if that get the deal done, but just in terms of what the Islanders are looking for, that would be it.
Yeah.
This is true, Matthew. He knows New York and how much he would like to stick it to. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. there's that. So listen, boys and girls, it is water cooler talk time. We are going to take your questions, trade deadline, Islander questions. Tell us who you thought won today's trade deadline day, even though trade deadline day's on Friday. Give us your thoughts, give us your comments, your concerns, anything Islanders related, anything trade deadline, teams, whatnot. For those of you who like to bring in the breaking news, please make sure it's official. I will not put it on unless that is official. So, all right, so far, winners, Vegas. Yeah, I like what Vegas has done so far. Again, I like Edmonton, sneaky good. Joe, real quick, you and I had said in the beginning of the season I still felt it was Edmonton's division to lose, but Vegas is always going to be Vegas in the playoffs. If Mark Stone comes back healthy for the playoffs, do you still have Vegas going to the Stanley Cup Finals at this point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I think he lacerated his spleen. I think it was. And to come back, are they saying he's going to make it back for the playoffs? Because usually with an injury like that, they don't want you getting hit for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's the question, folks. Yeah, and again, this is not. Yeah, this is an actual injury to Mark Stone. This is not a circumvent the cap thing. This is an actual injury. And
spleen.
Yeah, it is that serious. We're not sure if he's coming back.
I'll give you my answer. If he comes back, yes. If he doesn't come back, yes.
Oh,
I still think they're going to go to the finals. They know how to win. That's the thing. They know how to win in the playoffs.
How much of a factor is Jack Eichel going to love this spotlight?
Oh,
like this is going to be his team now.
That's it.
He couldn't do it in Buffalo, but he's got all the tools in Vegas now.
The Jack Eichel effect. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. So.
Edmonton will not beat Vegas or Colorado. Interesting. Okay. Well, again, we have to let our viewers know that Ryan is a Western Canada boy. He has absolutely no love for Vancouver or Edmonton or anybody else. We love him for that. That might be a little too personal there, but we know Ryan has absolutely no love for any of them. So I can understand.
On that note, I'm going with Edmonton. I went with them beginning of the season. Now that they got Enrique and that deal, I am going to stay on them because we saw the way the season started, and I mentioned how ticked I was on how bad they came out. But to me, as Joe said earlier in the show, this could be a Butch Goring-like move.
Yeah,
getting Adam Enrique.
Yeah,
because we all know. Well, you weren't alive then, Paul. Joe was. We know what was going on in 78, 79. We know, that they were just that one player short. And in the middle of that season, it just looked like, oh God, here they go again. But then Bill pulled the deal out of the hat and not only instant credibility, but instant solid credibility. And I think Enrique brings that to this team. I really, really do. And, it's like I said, like Trache, come on my back, guys. I'll show you how to win. Yes, he's not won a cup, Adam Enrique, but he knows what to do, and I think that's a big difference. So I'm going with Edmonton.
Nice. I'm honestly torn. Edmonton's not going to win that division. That's obviously going to Vancouver.
But again, just as we've always said, playoff hockey is a different puppy.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to Aiden Hill and Jeff Skinner, or was that the right Skinner? Edmonton's goaltender.
Yeah, Skinner.
It is Skinner. I went Jeff Skinner from Buffalo, but Skinner from Edmonton. I think it's going to come down to the battle of the goalies there.
Oh yeah.
So, I will go Vegas for now.
Stuart Skinner. That's it. Stuart Skinner.
Stuart Skinner. Thank
I'll
you.
do it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
boys. Yep. All right. So, real quick, way off topic. I have no idea why we're bringing up prospects at the moment, but what is your opinion on Ishakov? Will we lose him to the KHL? Can't begin to tell you how many times I've said this on the show. Ruslan Ishakov is your AHL version of Matt Barzal. He's on the wing. He does everything Matt Barzal does. Could do a little bit more. Okay, but all the highlights you've been seeing are in the shootouts or on the 3-on-3, so on and so forth. The AHL already has the playbook on him that once he gets to the blue line or a little bit closer, they trap him. Okay, he has found tremendous chemistry with Matthew Maggio. Okay, a little late, but they're all finally getting it together. Do I think Ishakov could be a 13th or 14th forward and get some time with the Islanders next season? Yes. Will we lose him to the KHL? Technically not, because we still hold his rights until he's 26. So if he wanted to go to the KHL, that's fine. He still has the Islanders' rights until he hits the actual age of 26. So we'll go from there. I would like to see him up as an extra forward and give him the Noah Dobson treatment, the Samuel Bolduc treatment. Let him get the practices in and see what he can do. He is fast, but there's got to be a little bit more to his game. Again, do we have anything in Bridgeport we can bring up? Yes, but not this year.
No.
They're getting better, and I will do a complete show on the prospects when this season is over. Trust me. None of us, and I know it's only been me. Trust me, there's at least 5 college players, maybe 6, that have not been talked about by other sites that are vying for a national title this year. National title in college. The Frozen Four, most of those Isles prospects are going to be in there. Trust me. Don't worry about Bridgeport yet. Don't worry about the college kids. Give them another time next year. Yes, Stuart Skinner. Thank you, Ryan.
Mhm.
Yes, I do like Maggio. At some point, he's going to replace Julien Gauthier on a not middle 6, probably a bottom 6 role. Give him time. The trick for Maggio right now is having a phenomenal offseason. Get the conditioning, get the strength in, let him get prepared for an actual full season of AHL hockey, because now he understands what it takes to play a full season here. Don't worry about the kids. Yes, Western Conference playoffs are going to be absolutely wild. No doubt. Stay up, drink coffee, enjoy those playoffs. Tape them, watch them in the morning, do whatever you got to do. That's going to be a ton of fun. Gentlemen, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to see the Stars and Avalanche in that first round if things don't change.
Wow.
Who do you got?
Wow.
Yeah, let's have fun with this.
Oh my God.
Stars and Avalanche. Like, we're not sleeping. Insomnia is going to kick in.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I have a.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
Ooh.
Stars in 7.
Wow.
You think
Stars in
Ottinger's going to
7.
be the key?
Yes.
Ooh. I hate it when we think alike. Ruins the show. All right. Gary, you going to be like that little homer and go with Dallas, or you going to go Colorado?
I don't know. I am like 50.1, 49.9. It's that close to me. It's hard to. You know what? I'll go Colorado.
Attaboy.
50.1, 49.9.
Okay.
That's how I feel. It won't surprise me either way, but there's no doubt in my mind if that's the series that's going 7.
Right.
There's no doubt in my mind. Because they can't stand each other either. And I love
No
first round series where they really just want to get at each other's nerves. Oh, you love
No.
those. You love those.
That's going to be it. And Joe, I agree with you. I think Jake Ottinger is going to be the key. I am
Right.
going to go Colorado though. And the reason why I say Colorado is because they're going to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They now have their second line center. I think it's going to be an offensive onslaught from that Colorado team. Um, Dallas is a little bit older, but I agree with Gary. Like that's like a 51-49. That's going to be so much fun.
But they're missing the Kadri effect.
What's Middlestat going to do? Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's going to be the big one. That's going to be the question. I can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah.
All right, going back to the prospects. You guys are killing me. Is Jeffries going to sign? God, I hope so. He's in Merrimack. If I'm not mistaken, the playoffs are going to start real soon in college. Basically, Merrimack has been decimated by injuries all season long. They basically have to win out, like for the rest of the year. Will he sign? I hope so. He did not sign with the Islanders last year because they were trying to make a run for the national title this year. But him and Berg from University of North Dakota, Cameron Berg, they both declined contracts because they were going for a national title. And they are doing that this year. But Jeffries, I do hope, signs with the Islanders because, folks, at some point, I don't build up prospects much anymore. I've learned that lesson, but I think if Alex Jeffries signs, I think you have a future replacement for Anders Lee, and it won't take him long to get adjusted to that pro level. I think Alex Jeffries is that good, but we'll talk about that later at another time. All right, Ryan has the Avs. Let's see here. Who else? Don't worry about DeFore. DeFore is just going through the growing pains. He's been through quite a bit this year. We'll talk about the prospects later. Stars in 6. McKinnon factor. That's another one. Yep. Cameron Berg's going to be a player. We'll get into the prospects at a later time. McLean's been a good kid. No lie. And you know what? He's brought a little more speed. He's brought a little more grit to that center position. But again, with Thomas, I think this is what Gary and Joe have been saying before. When you get that kind of scoring on that first line, it makes all the difference in the world. And that, Brock is showing what the Islanders absolutely need. And that's a little more scoring on that top line. I knew someone was going to do this. King Henry Tikkanen has supplanted Skarek as a potential future backup. Negative. And you know why? Because he's not Isles property, boys and girls. Ta-da! He's the Bridgeport Islanders property. King Henry Tikkanen is not under an NHL contract, meaning if the Rangers wanted to be jerks and sign Tikkanen tomorrow on an NHL two-way contract, they can do it tomorrow. So if you really like Tikkanen, you better hope the Islanders sign him and sign him soon. So, yes, very impressed with McLean. Bruce Willis's son. You got to be killing. Yeah, no, and again, Tikkanen's been a breath of fresh air. I don't know if he'd get an NHL contract. Again, it's only been a few games in the AHL. He's done really well. It's a good streak. The team's been winning. The whole team's been coming together. But again, that's going to be another segment later
He's
on.
21, right?
Maybe 22. Yeah. I think at this
21,
point.
22. Yeah, I didn't think he was much.
He's got some potential, but he literally has been marinating in the East Coast Hockey League with Worcester. So, yeah, no, I agree. Lennox is the next goaltending prospect for us to watch. He hasn't played a lot of games in the East Coast Hockey League this year. He hasn't played a lot of games for Worcester this year. So, no, absolutely. So, any other questions, comments, concerns, water cooler talk time, any rumors you guys want to talk about? Bring them up now. Again, we are 4 points behind the Flyers. We do have a game with the Flyers at some point.
Early April.
The Flyers defense is now a little depleted. The Islanders are in it, folks, and I'm going to do this to you because I love torturing you guys. The Islanders and Flyers right now could be battling for third place all the way up to game 80. all the way up to game 80 now. That's what happens when you go on a 4-game winning streak. It's and I'm going to give all the respect in the world to the Flyers because they have earned it. It is the Flyers. The Flyers are in third place. It's theirs to lose. They've earned that respect. It's theirs to lose.
With the
Islanders may go above and beyond them. That's okay. But for me, it's the Flyers' opportunity to lose.
With their goaltending carousel that they've had and all the things that have gone on, in Philly, it's a great story, and Torts has done an excellent job with them, keeping them in the game. But they really, as much as I was saying, we were like really the only team without a serious streak. They really, I mean, they had one bad run, but they've been able to fight themselves back and clutch and claw. I mean, they are a resemblance of their coach, I think. And if there's an ability for them to hold on, they've got the right guy behind the bench to do it. But it's going to be a tough road.
Right.
Paul, could you look on the schedule and see when we play them?
It's in early April, Joe.
Early April? That might be the game that decides it.
Oh, imagine that.
I know the Islanders are doing a promotion where they're sending a couple of fans, I think, by limo to Philly for a game or something like that.
Right.
So I know It's like April Fool's Day or something.
Could we overcome the Rags in a playoff season? Our penalty kill and versus their power play disturbs me. Listen, the Islanders' power play since the penalty killing since the Stadium Series is well over 90%, boys and girls. It's like at 92%. For right now, the penalty killing is working. Again, I would love to answer this question mark in another week because we don't know what the Islanders are going to do. We don't know what the Rangers are going to do yet. I think we all agree both teams are not going to stand pat. I don't think Alex Wemberg is going to move that needle, moving the Rangers ahead. It certainly gives them a center that they're looking for. But, if the Islanders make that right move that we've all been talking about, I think the Islanders can absolutely give the Rangers one hell of a run for their money. I'll even go the Isles could take out the Rangers. The Rangers just don't scare me. Joe, give me your thoughts. Do the Rangers scare you?
No. And the longer the series goes, the better our chances are. The Rangers are not built for a 7-game grinding series, and that's how we're built to play. We're built to play a 7-game series. Grind it out. Rangers aren't built like that.
Speed kills
in the regular. Joe, April 1st.
Yes.
Gary, give me your thoughts. Are you afraid of the Rangers?
No, I'm not. Speed kills in the regular season, but not in the playoffs. You can do all you want, come March 7th, but when you get to April 25th, when the games mean so much more magnified, it's going to be a different puppy. I mean, not that the Rangers could, but
right.
They don't scare me.
Right.
Take out that piece of garbage known as the Stadium Series game, because basically the Rangers get 3 home games against us this year, so it doesn't matter. But bottom line is they're not built for the playoffs. They're built for the regular season. See what happens.
Do you see the Hurricanes passing the Rangers? Listen, Thomas, I kind of know where you're going here. It is still fairly close between the Canes and the Rangers. And again, I have to give credit where it's due here. Jonathan Quick has been phenomenal this year. I think the only way the Rangers lose their first place holding is if Jonathan Quick stumbles. If Jonathan Quick starts to slump towards the end of this season, it gets to be a little too much. Carolina holds on. Rangers slip into third. The Rangers slip into second. The Islanders slip into third, and I'm a happy fan.
Paul, let me ask you a question. We know in the past couple of years that Carolina has been very active in the trading market. Are you surprised they haven't really done anything yet? Or do
A
you
little.
think something big is in the works with them? I mean, what do you think?
I think Carolina is much closer to getting Gensel than we all may realize. And I don't trust Carolina, and I say that with the utmost respect. Um, the Carolina and the Islanders are both looking for that winger, and if it's someone like Gensel, I think Carolina is going to give Florida a good run for their money. Goaltending aside, I think Florida has the better goaltending, but we know the grinding out teams. But for me, I would still give that to Florida. But Carolina, you get someone like Gensel who's got that Stanley Cup pedigree as well. I Carolina would be very, very dangerous, no doubt.
And also their situation now that you got Freddie Anderson coming back and they say he looks great. I mean, obviously it's only practices and things, but that's going to be another problem too, is that they've got, the 3 goaltender monster there.
Yep. Yeah. Then that's the other thing. Go ahead.
Sorry, but what if Carolina went after Chikrin? What if they went after that defenseman to slow? If they came down to them playing the Panthers to slow them down. I mean, if you're Carolina, you look at to counteract that balance. You know what I mean? They're picking up more firepower. You want to pick up more defensive power.
And to back that up, yes, Carolina is interested in the Predators backup. I believe that's Lankinen. I believe Lankinen used to play on Chicago too. Lankinen is a scary good goaltender when he has the right team in front of him. So I kind of agree with that. And I'm going to go with Ryan here as well. Kotkaniemi and Nekis are also who they're dangling. Look, you get Kotkaniemi to Pittsburgh for Gensel. That's a good help for Pittsburgh, at least down the middle. I don't know what that's going to do for, Crosby or whatnot, but yeah, like it's all good. I mean, Carolina might be the only team to give Florida a legitimate run if they make a move like Gensel. But then again, you also have the Islanders who are like team focused. And I don't know how long they would give Florida a decent run. I mean, they anything can happen, but you're looking at 2 grinding teams there, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just have fun here. If it's Florida and the Islanders in any kind of a playoff series, it's going to be difficult for them to go any further because that's going to be a battle all on its own to try to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, series like that will weigh you down. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, the longer a series goes with 2 grinding teams, both teams are wearing themselves down.
Right.
That's how that matchup will work.
Right.
After the move Florida made, could we beat them? I'm going to say more on the no side.
Yeah, I'm going to say more
because that's where that third line comes into play now. Because now you have 3 legitimate scoring lines on the Panthers, and their fourth line can score too. But that's where they have just a little bit more talent, and I think they're a little bit more abrasive than we are in our game right now. They hit you, they score, and they could shut you out. So that's it. They're a shutdown team.
Beautiful. Any concern we're going to have to potentially overuse Sorokin for playoff time now that we're fighting for a playoff spot again? No, I don't think so. And I'll say this now, folks. The Devils are going to be eliminated within the next game or 2. The Penguins are going to be eliminated within the next game or 2. The Capitals, I'm going to give them another 5 games. It's literally coming down to the Isles, Philly, and Tampa. You are not going to wear down Sorokin here. Most of these other teams are going to be eliminated quite possibly past this weekend, depending on what they do, if not by the next time we have a show. If you're playing Anaheim, if you're playing San Jose, Varlamov better get a start. There are ways to get Varlamov in here to give Sorokin just enough rest. So no, I don't think they're going to overuse him. But I agree, Mark. I think a little more of Varlamov is certainly going to help over the long run. Oh, traitor. If Fox wakes up, the Rangers may surprise them. There is some truth to that. I'm going to concede that, but we got to see it from Fox at this point. So, all right, boys and girls, listen, it is 9 o'clock. We are going to be done here for tonight. Next week, I'm going to try to get Lyle Richardson from Specters Hockey. We're going to try to go over some of the rumors again. We're going to talk over trade deadline. We're going to see what the Islanders did, and we're going to go from there. And it's going to be playoff talk for the rest of the season. It's going to be a fun time. But listen, the Islanders are not going to be out of it now until the late 70s, earlys, if they're out of it at all. If Philadelphia has a massive collapse, look, start prepping for playoffs. I would start prepping for playoffs anyway. So, gentlemen, Gary, any last words before we go?
No, just like I said, just curiosity is really gonna, see what we do. I've been liking what I see. I think for the first time in a long time, the California road trip is going to be something that, the Islanders need to, come out of there with hopefully 5, if not 6.
Right.
I'm not including the Buffalo game, but just get out of California with that and make themselves forcibly back in the equation. We were saying last week that how important, those 3 games were, from the time we did the show, and they were just that. So, it's great, but keep the faith, guys. Let's hope if Lou makes a deal to make us better, that something good comes out of it, and we're a lot more happier next week than we are this week.
Joe, parting thoughts.
Well, we have 2 games in hand on the Flyers. Win those 2 games, and we're in a good position. That's what I say. Put the pressure on the Flyers. Win our games. That's it.
Oh, look at this. Isle Scouts at Ottawa tonight. There we go. But again, Ottawa, if I'm not mistaken, is down in California. They've got Anaheim tonight, don't they?
Don't know.
Well, hold on. I'll tell you right now.
I think so. Yeah, tell me
Yes.
right now. Make yourself
Yes,
useful.
they do.
Yeah.
They do.
I figured. Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go, boys and girls. Maybe we say hi to Ottawa another day or two. We'll find out. So thank you guys for coming on. And as always, please, please, please don't forget to follow us on X at Owls Talk. Please like and follow us on Facebook, and please hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. It has been very, very helpful for all of us here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Good luck with the trade deadline. If anything else happens next week, we'll talk about the trades and the Islanders season moving forward. Have a great night, guys. See you later.